Welcome to this episode. This video took 20 days to produce, and I believe that by the end of it, you'll be able to quit smoking painlessly. Why am I so confident? Because many people have already quit smoking successfully through this video. We employ a deep detox and deprogramming method here. A special note, I suggest you smoke while watching the video. The more you smoke, the better the results. 99% of smokers can never completely break free from the psychological grip of tobacco. This video's core content aims to help you quit smoking without relying on willpower, freeing you from the prison of nicotine addiction. If you've clicked on this video and you're a smoker, congratulations. This might be your closest chance to quitting smoking. Now please cooperate with me. Grab your cigarette, light it up, and watch while you smoke. When it comes to quitting, many people think reducing the number of cigarettes each day, for example, smoking 10 instead of 20, will help. However, this approach often leads to failure. Even if you manage to cut down for a few months, something will eventually happen, happy or sad, that makes you pick up smoking again. Why is quitting smoking so difficult? Why do you think it's painful and unfortunate to quit? Why do many people continue to smoke even after being diagnosed with lung cancer? It's because your mind is filled with misconceptions about tobacco. These misconceptions make you believe that smoking has various benefits, leading to a fear of quitting. You're afraid of the long, painful process of quitting, afraid that life without cigarettes will be less comfortable, and afraid that quitting will decrease your focus. Many joke, "I'm so scared, I need a cigarette to calm down." But this is no joke. Many people truly believe that smoking relieves anxiety and stress. On World No Tobacco Day, April 7th, all smokers tend to smoke twice as much because the idea of quitting makes them anxious, and anxiety makes them smoke more. Today, I made this video to reprogram your mind and clear all misconceptions about smoking. Only by reprogramming can you truly understand tobacco for what it is, a deadly invention that has taken countless lives over centuries. Trust me, if you open your mind and fully accept the knowledge I share, it will only benefit you. Even in the worst-case scenario of failing to quit, what's there to fear? So I invite you to join my quitting challenge. Please comment, "Challenge accepted" below. Scaring smokers with health warnings doesn't work because many smoke to relieve tension. The more you scare them, the more they smoke. The cigarette butts outside cancer hospitals are proof of this. This approach also makes smokers feel they are losing a privilege to avoid harm, which makes them feel worse. The substitution method for quitting is also ineffective because constantly satisfying nicotine cravings only feeds the addiction. Traditional medicine views addiction as twofold: the habit of smoking and the physical withdrawal. They suggest tackling them separately, first breaking the habit and then dealing with withdrawal. But this is flawed. Smoking isn't a habit. It's a psychological addiction and physical dependency. Willpower-based quitting also fails, and I will explain why later. Most mainstream quitting methods have low success rates. Let me ask you, why do you smoke? Forget your reasons for quitting and clearly examine what smoking actually does for you. Are you really enjoying it? Are you willing to pay for your suffocation by holding a cigarette in your mouth? Smoking offers no benefits and nothing to give up. The only thing smoking does is make you feel continuously disappointed, leaving you with a broken body. You might not believe this now, but we will dissect it slowly. Currently, there are 1.25 billion smokers worldwide. Why do people smoke? Because others do, so they follow suit. Most smokers dislike the smell of smoke as children and believed they would never smoke. If you could go back in time to when you didn't smoke, would you slap yourself forever starting? The cost of smoking is high. I used to smoke a $5 pack of cigarettes daily, sometimes 2 packs, spending about $200 a month, which totals $2,400 a year. If I lived to 70 and smoked all my life, it would cost $120,000, not counting the more expensive brands I occasionally smoked, like $6 or $10 packs. This amount could easily buy a nice car. What did I buy with nearly $120,000? Yellowed teeth, clogged arteries, lungs deprived of oxygen, and a body reeking of smoke. Every time we enter a no-smoking area, we feel uncomfortable. Not having a cigarette can be the hardest part. Since we started smoking, we've been plagued by constant pain, anxiety, and disappointment. So, let's begin this journey to quit smoking and reclaim our health, money, and peace of mind. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video helps you or your loved ones break free from the grip of tobacco. If this video has been helpful, please like and subscribe. Many people believe they smoke because they enjoy it. But what if you only have cigarettes you don't like? Would you still smoke them? The answer is yes. You're not fond of those brands, yet you still smoke. Why? If someone runs out of cigarettes, they might even burn something just to inhale the fumes. The reality is, you don't truly enjoy smoking. When you first encountered cigarettes, you could tell it wasn't something good. Smoking serves two purposes: nicotine addiction and brainwashing. Nicotine is a colorless, oily substance that is highly addictive. It can hook you with just one cigarette. It metabolizes quickly, with 75% of it gone in an hour. After finishing a cigarette, withdrawal symptoms soon follow. These symptoms are not physical pain, but a mental void, a sense that something is missing. Unlike other drugs, nicotine's withdrawal symptoms are so mild that they don't even wake you from sleep. First, you need to accept the fact that you are addicted to nicotine. Every time you feel satisfied after smoking, it's merely the temporary disappearance of that emptiness. Imagine you were a complete person, and each cigarette you smoke takes a piece of you away, making you feel incomplete. When you smoke again, that piece is temporarily restored, giving you a fleeting sense of wholeness. It's like enduring the noise of a jackhammer all day and then suddenly it stops. You feel immense relief. The cigarette is the jackhammer, disrupting your peace, and smoking brings temporary calm. Quitting smoking is about throwing out the person with the jackhammer. Our bodies are naturally whole. Smoking and nicotine create the psychological void. This cycle repeats endlessly unless you break it externally. Smoking is like being poisoned. You smoke to relieve the toxin, enjoying brief comfort. Many people say a post-meal cigarette feels heavenly, but have you noticed that non-smokers feel relaxed and satisfied after a meal without smoking? Non-smokers can relax immediately, whereas smokers need a cigarette to achieve that feeling. Smokers find quitting difficult because they think it means giving up a lot. But you must understand that you're not giving up anything. Some say smoking is enjoyable, but that enjoyment is merely the brief comfort of a temporarily restored incomplete body. If you quit, you'll always feel whole and satisfied. Some say smoking is a habit, but is eating a habit? Eating is necessary for survival, not a habit. Similarly, smoking isn't a habit. It's a way to satisfy nicotine addiction. Why do you smoke more and more? Because your body builds tolerance, needing more nicotine over time. All positive feelings after smoking are just your body's response to the nicotine it craves. Nicotine isn't just a drug, it's a powerful toxin found in insecticides. Injecting the amount of nicotine in one cigarette into your bloodstream could kill you. Our sense of smell is not just for show. Steak smells good because it aligns with our genetic preferences. For other creatures, tastes vary, but pleasant and unpleasant smells help us identify good and bad. Non-smokers find the smell of smoke repulsive because our sense of smell warns us it's toxic. Why do we believe cigarettes have these positive effects? It's the result of advertisers' brainwashing. In the 19th century, tobacco companies realized that if doctors endorsed smoking, sales would soar. Advertisers even showed couples smoking after sex. They left no stone unturned in embedding smoking in our psyche. In movies, scenes of people facing death often show them smoking with a serene expression, accompanied by soft music. During wars, the wounded were always given a lit cigarette. Although tobacco ads are now banned online, movie and TV characters still smoke. Seeing your favorite star smoke embeds this image in your subconscious, suggesting that smoking is a good thing. You might not notice it the first time, but repeated exposure sinks into your subconscious. This is advertisers' brainwashing, making the public accept tobacco's supposed benefits. Most smokers' subconscious minds are influenced this way. My friends and elders were all affected. They believed that tobacco had functional benefits. Why do deaths from tobacco far exceed those from drug violence, yet no one stops it? It's because of GDP. The revenue from tobacco can be turned into funds for infrastructure, rural development, civil servant salaries, and charitable aid. While much of the money spent on cigarettes goes to good causes, I urge you not to sacrifice your body. Your health is invaluable. Many people are keenly aware of scams, and I hope you apply the same skepticism to tobacco. Don't be fooled by gold-plated lighters and fancy cigarette packaging. You don't need to smoke, nor do you need to become addicted. Most people are brainwashed by society, family, and friends. We often talk about giving up smoking, but that's incorrect. You have nothing to give up. The correct term should be escaping smoking. Are you still smoking right now? If you're out of cigarettes, it's best to light one up. Don't stop, we'll continue our discussion. Does smoking help relieve stress? Stress comes from all aspects of life, such as children, bosses, income, and family. Many smokers light up a cigarette to think when faced with problems. Smokers believe they relieve stress by smoking, but the truth is that even when they do, their overall stress levels are still higher than those of non-smokers. Generally, smokers are determined individuals because those with weaker wills are filtered out when they first start smoking. Smoking requires a basic level of willpower and physical fitness to withstand its harmful effects. Smokers fear going out at night, afraid of the emptiness that follows when their cigarettes run out. This emptiness is caused by nicotine. Smoking addiction not only poisons your body but also gradually destroys your willpower, making you less determined. Smoking doesn't help you relax. It poisons your body and mind. Some say they smoke out of boredom. When you smoke, you might not even realize the cigarette is in your mouth. You're merely feeding your nicotine addiction. During the quitting process, smokers experience withdrawal symptoms. However, these symptoms are less noticeable when you're distracted by other activities. Conversely, when you're bored, you become more aware of withdrawal symptoms and start smoking again. This is an unconscious behavior, controlled by nicotine. Smoking not only causes boredom, but also induces drowsiness, keeping smokers away from energy-consuming activities and maintaining a state of boredom. Some believe smoking helps them concentrate, but this is a misconception. Non-smokers focus by simply directing their energy, while smokers need to light a cigarette first, and then ignore it and other distractions to concentrate. Every few minutes, the nicotine addiction prompts you to light another cigarette, like a child interrupting you every 50 minutes. Smoking doesn't help you focus. It distracts you, and the quality of a smoker's concentration is compromised. The toxins in cigarettes reduce the blood's oxygen-carrying capacity, leading to insufficient oxygen supply to the brain. As a creator, I can work from morning till night without any issues after quitting smoking. When I was smoking, I couldn't last a few hours. Quitting smoking often fails because you believe cigarettes help you concentrate, and you crave one whenever you face a problem. This belief is a misconception. Some think smoking helps them relax, but true relaxation means a slow, comfortable heartbeat, while nicotine excites and increases your heart rate. The comfort of a post-meal cigarette is just nurturing your addiction. In non-smoking areas, smokers often appear anxious, some putting their hands to their mouths, others fidgeting with their thumbs or hair. They can't relax because they're still controlled by their addiction. As smoking increases, so does the body's tolerance, with some lighting a new cigarette before the previous one is extinguished. When I was in military school, the entire building was smoke-free, but the heavy smokers couldn't resist. They'd light a cigarette, take a few quick puffs, and then toss it into the toilet to slightly alleviate their craving. Smokers don't truly enjoy the act of smoking. They smoke to alleviate the pain of nicotine addiction. 70% of smokers are influenced by others, as if smoking is the only way to socialize. However, interactions between smokers are just as mundane and time-wasting as those without smoking. Many smokers ignore anti-smoking ads, unaware that the damage smoking does to the lungs is cumulative. The frequent coughs of smokers are their bodies trying to expel toxins. Smoking also directly affects sexual performance, which is why many people quit when they want to have children. The dangers of smoking are not exaggerated. Lung cancer remains the leading cause of cancer deaths. 90% of smokers try to quit using willpower, but this method often fails because it feels like giving something up. When faced with challenges, a offered cigarette, or emotions of unhappiness or happiness, they relapse. This is why willpower-based quitting is unreliable. Reducing the number of cigarettes also doesn't work. It may seem effective to cut down from 10 to 9 cigarettes a day, but as long as the mental addiction remains, there will always be a day of giving up and reverting to the previous smoking level. Once you enter withdrawal symptoms, you'll notice a significant drop in your quality of life and your temper worsening, making you believe that cigarettes are good. The longer you quit, the more pleasurable the occasional cigarette feels, a satisfaction derived from psychological fulfillment. Nicotine addiction is easy to break, but the mental addiction is the hardest to eliminate. Smoking is like a chain, one cigarette after another, linking you until death. Reducing the number of cigarettes won't help. The reason willpower-based quitting fails is the thought, "I'll just have one cigarette." One cigarette can lead to falling back into the addiction trap. Any cigarette means a lifetime of being a slave to nicotine. Whether you've smoked for a lifetime or just for a year, quitting is easy. If after watching this video you still can't quit, it means the counter-brainwashing isn't enough. When you feel the urge to smoke again, watch this video once more. I will keep telling you these truths. Once you've corrected all your misconceptions about smoking, quitting will come naturally. Light smokers are more addicted than heavy smokers because they believe smoking is an enjoyment. Light smokers consume fewer cigarettes, waste less money, and suffer less harm to their bodies. However, light smokers often become heavy smokers, with a very low conversion rate. Many light smokers falsely report their smoking quantity. For example, I have a friend who claims to smoke only 5 cigarettes a day, but during an exercise he smoked a whole pack in a day. Heavy smokers don't need to envy light smokers because once addicted, there's no distinction in quantity, only whether you smoke or not. In terms of quitting, heavy smokers have a higher success rate. Nowadays, many youngsters have started smoking, and some have even tried hallucinogens like RSD. Teenagers are the hardest to quit smoking because they don't believe they're addicted, thinking they'll quit someday. All smokers once said in their childhood that they would never smoke and hated the smell. But when they smoked their first cigarette, they didn't believe they'd get addicted. Many people after quitting feel envious when they see others smoking, but this mindset is wrong. In reality, smokers should envy those who have quit, as non-smokers are not deprived of any rights. On the contrary, cigarettes rob them of their health, energy, money, confidence, peace of mind, courage, tranquility, freedom, and self-respect. Smokers are not to be envied. They are pitiful. Would you envy those who die from drugs or war? Deaths caused by smoking have already surpassed those from drugs and war combined over the past few centuries. Quitting smoking is simple and requires 2 things: deciding never to smoke again and not doubting that decision. Be happy about quitting, recognizing that it doesn't mean losing anything but gaining a lot. Smoking is not a harmful habit, but an addiction. This addiction is easy to overcome, taking only 3 weeks. However, what truly controls us are the mental aspects and misconceptions. During the quitting process, nicotine addiction will disappear within 3 weeks. You can view this period as a challenge, with the primary task being to starve the toxin in your body. During this time, the toxin will tempt you to smoke to sustain its life, but you should enjoy the process of starving it to death. Freedom will get closer to you. The failure of willpower-based quitting is often due to the environment and a bad mental state. When you're in a bad mood, smoking seems like an excuse, but smoking won't relieve your mood. It will make it worse. You need to be vigilant in such situations and remind yourself not to let things get worse. During the 3 weeks of quitting smoking, you will experience a revelatory moment, realizing that you have broken free from nicotine addiction and are beginning a new life. Ignore societal brainwashing and start feeling pity for the smokers around you. The longer you have smoked, the better this moment will feel, as if you've lifted a burden off your shoulders. My revelatory moment came when I finished reading the last page of a book designed to help you quit smoking, with a burning cigarette still in my hand. I said goodbye to the cigarette and decided never to smoke again. Although you now have an advantage with videos to watch, it's okay if your revelatory moment hasn't arrived yet. Just forget about smoking. Don't test yourself to see if you can still smoke, because nicotine addiction is holistic. There's no distinction between 1 or 2 cigarettes. Smoking 1 more cigarette will nullify all your efforts to quit. Now take a deep breath and seriously smoke a cigarette. Feel the suffocating gas and ask yourself if you're truly determined to quit smoking. Your body is about to undergo significant changes. Are you excited? If you're still not confident, watch this video a few more times. Quitting smoking is not particularly difficult. You can absolutely do it. Remember, becoming addicted to smoking wasn't your decision, but breaking free from it must be your determination. You must be firm. This cigarette is your last one. If you've read this far, it means you genuinely want to quit smoking. Now make up your mind and solemnly swear to yourself, after this cigarette is extinguished, no matter what happens, you will not smoke another. Don't be afraid. The worst that can happen is failing to quit, in which case you can watch the video again and start over. From the tobacco perspective, you have nothing left to lose. These negative impacts have no benefits. Just follow the instructions step by step. Step 1. Make a vow to quit smoking. Resolve firmly to quit smoking. Step 2. Light your last cigarette. Feel the dirty, toxic gas, and ask yourself if you truly enjoy it. Step 3. Understand the nature of smoking. Quitting doesn't mean giving up anything. Smoking offers no real enjoyment. The so-called enjoyment is just an illusion of deprivation followed by satisfaction. Step 4. See through the addiction. In the first few days, nicotine addiction will tell you to smoke. You need to see the true nature of this thought. It's the addiction controlling your mind, not you. You should celebrate the fact that you no longer need to smoke. Step 5. Stay firm in your belief. At any time, think about the pros and cons of quitting smoking, and the conclusion will always be that only a fool would smoke. You have made the right decision, so don't doubt your actions. Step 6. Remind yourself daily. Don't deliberately think about smoking, but remind yourself every day that you are a non-smoker now. Step 7. Avoid substitutes. Do not use any substitutes, do not keep cigarettes, and do not avoid other smokers. Don't change your life just to quit smoking. Whether life is at its peak or in a trough, do not smoke again. You haven't given up anything. On the contrary, you have gained a lot. You have escaped a trap, and every time you think about quitting smoking, feel happy for being a non-smoker. After successfully quitting, never try any tobacco again. I have seen many people who, despite successfully quitting smoking, insist on proving they have quit, only to get addicted again. At the end of the video, I want to ask you a favor. When you have many smokers around you who feel helpless and fall into smoking, wanting to quit but failing to rely on willpower, if you see this video, please share it with your loved ones so they can also quit smoking. The misfortune that happened to me, I don't want it to happen to you. No one should lose their life because of smoking. Thank you for watching. I believe you or your loved ones will soon be free from the grip of tobacco and live an unburdened life. That's all for this video. If this video helped you, please give me a like and subscribe. All right, that's it. Goodbye.